Hey everybody, welcome to Barbecue Champs Academy live show tonight. Man, we have got a great one sitting in the green room, Mr. Danny Helms with Xtreme BBQ, and we are so excited to have him join us. He has got a lot of surprises for me, as I thought I was going to have some for him. And I do hope that we have a great show tonight. He has been looking forward to this. We was trying to get him on last week and we couldn't, but we've got him here for us tonight. So as you come on, let us know that you're here. If you have any questions for Mr. Danny tonight, we certainly do want you to engage in asking him anything about his barbecue rubs and sauces. And if there's any question you want to know, you let us know and we'll get that answer to him, or that question to him. Certainly looking forward to, once again, to tonight's show. Before we get started, I do always want to acknowledge those that have helped us do what we do. One of our partners is Xtreme. So thankful to have those guys on board. Also, Papa Joe Grilling Supplies, they have come on board and carry a lot of our rubs and stuff that we have, especially for our SEA steak cookers. We've got B&B Charcoal. We certainly do appreciate Ed being on the show here a couple of months ago and going through some of the things on barbecue, on charcoal, that I never knew about. Also, Mr. Brian Crawford at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, certainly do have to give him a shout out. He has certainly stepped on up and started carrying a lot of the rubs and sauces that we use in our Barbecue Champ Academy classes, and he's got some amazing product as well with his Crawford barbecue pit products. Texas Pepper Jelly, Mr. Craig Sherry, Gunnar Wilhelm Knives. Certainly do love those knives. I've got a little story I'm going to share with everybody about those knives maybe sometime later in this show. If not, I'm going to do a separate show all its own on those knives. There was some fascinating stuff that I came across on trimming up some briskets the other day, and I was blown away. And then Mr. Kell with Barbecue News Magazine, we had him on a couple weeks ago, and certainly do want to give him a big shout out as well. But once again, as you come in, if you've got questions, let us know. And we'll start making some recognition of those that are here. Man, we got folks steadily pouring in. It's going to be a great show tonight. I cannot wait. Without further ado, let's go to the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend. And there he is, Mr. Danny Helms.
Hey, Mike. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good. We've got a lot of folks steadily coming on here. I've told them to ask all the questions that they possibly could ask. We're going to see if we can grill you. So, but we've got a lot of folks coming in. Scott's on here. Frank's already on here. There's Mr. Matt Overson. Miss Amy is with us tonight, all the way from Georgia. Got Mr. Darren. I think you might know that guy, Mr. Terry Roan. I thought about maybe even surprising and having him pop in here, but we're saving him for another day. Nick, great to have you here down in the Hillsboro, Texas area. There is one of my absolute favorite judges, Miss Kiki. We absolutely love her. She is so awesome. There's Mr. Andy. Andy, it was great cooking with you, buddy, over in Maybank. We're just giving folks a few more minutes to come in. The superstar that I have now named Miss Consistent. That is your name, Marissa. I just want you to know. I posted it again this week. Congratulations on your calls. You are absolutely killing it. We just got folks just steadily coming in, and I'm telling you right now, I think it's going to be a great show. So once again, if you have questions for Danny as we get into this, certainly let them rip. But once again, we got Mr. Danny Helm. He's the founder of Xtreme BBQ. He has got a massive line of rubs, some of the top rubs that's used in SCA with his steak dust that I know was created by Mr. World Champion Terry Roan. And I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but we're going to get into this and get started. So what got you into barbecue, Danny?
Well, a lot of people don't know, but I was born in South Texas.
Okay.
In Robstown. And my grandparents lived in a little town called San Patricio, Texas. And we used to travel down there for the holidays in the summer, you know, and stuff like that. 5-6 hour drive. And we would always stop in Temple, Texas. Clem McKeska's Barbecue. right off the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
That got my interest in barbecue from a young age, very young age. And I'm like, one of these days, I'm going to learn how to cook barbecue.
There you go.
So basically, that's where it all started. And I'll be honest with you, first brisket I ever cooked, 10, 12-pound brisket, it turned out to be a pound or two. But, you know, you learn from then on. And I was working, you know, with the electric company here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of us guys decided we wanted to start cooking. And we had little company cook-offs. And there was 5 of us.
Right.
And it originally started, you'll love this, pool boys.
Hi, there you go.
So that's the way it all got started, right there
Right.
in competition barbecue.
Right.
And eventually, through the years, you know, things change and people come and go.
Right.
You know? So but that's where it all really got started, right there.
Well,
So my first competition was basically with IBCA was in 1990.
Okay.
And that was in Hillsboro, Texas.
Okay. Yeah,
And we ended up 4th overall in that cook-off. And one of the guys that was probably the biggest influence on me just passed.
Yeah.
Jeff Sheriff.
Yeah.
He was like a mentor to me.
I think he was a mentor to a lot of people.
He was.
He was just an amazing guy. I mean, every time that I ever got to a competition, he'd always make time to come over and sit down. And we didn't talk for like 1 or 2 minutes. When Jeff started talking, you was going to get a good 30 minutes. And when he got done with the 30 minutes, you was hoping he was going to give you another 30 minutes because the stories were so dadgum compelling.
Right.
I remember the last good long visit we had with him was over in Terrell, Texas last year. It got canceled this year with the IBCA competition over there. And I just absolutely enjoyed him coming over. And Lynn made us a special plaque with some pennies that had the year that Suzette and I got married and had a penny for every year. And she made that for us, and we'll treasure that forever. And it was just such a those are such wonderful people, Lynn and Jeff. And I absolutely hate to hear that, hate that he passed away like that, but our heartfelt condolences sure go out to Lynn and Laura and everybody. And
celebration of life. I mean,
he was great. I mean, he was what barbecue was as far as I was concerned.
Yes.
So
yes, he's going to leave a big hole.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, absolutely. So anyway, so you got into the barbecue competition at a pretty early age.
I was 27 years old.
Wow.
And I'm 58 today.
Wow. So you've been doing it a long time.
Yes.
All right. So you got into the competition. I know you still do some barbecue competitions when you get a chance. I think I cooked against you last year in West Texas. And I know you do some state competitions when you get a chance to get out and do that as well. So what got you compelled to all of a sudden start up a rub company with Be Xtreme?
Well, I couldn't find anything consistent that I really liked. Of course, back when I started, you didn't have a whole lot to choose from. And not like it is today.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, I think I can make something better myself. And so that's where I started, right there. And basically it was, I want to say 1995, basically when I started making my own rub.
Wow.
And it was one basic rub.
Right.
And, I mean, that's where I started from.
Right.
And I started getting consistent results.
Yep.
And I'm like, maybe there's something to this, you know? And so I don't remember who it was, but somebody asked me, why do you do this? Why do you cook competitively? You know, because that's, 11 years later.
Right.
Or so, and they're like, why are you doing this? What are you going to open up a restaurant, barbecue restaurant? What are you going to do? That stuck in my head, yeah, I can probably do something with this.
Right.
So what started out as a hobby grew into a full-time business.
Wow.
Such a business that I retired from a job that I've been working for 38 years.
Wow. Well, it's an amazing rub. I mean, you got a full lineup, and I mean, I don't know, one, two, I've got four sitting here, and I know there's probably another three or four sitting over on my shelf behind me. I've just pulled out some of my favorites over here that we're going to talk about. So, when you created these rubs, was it the intent for competition, or was it the intent to bring competition quality rubs to backyard people? What was your intent with it?
My first intent was for myself, for competition.
Okay.
When I actually got started into the business, like I said, it started as a hobby. And I had a lady right here locally in Cleveland, great business lady, does a lot of things on the school board, chamber of commerce, stuff like that. And of course, my wife was in the newspaper publishing business for years down here. She knew the lady. So we scheduled a visit with her, went out and talked to her. She helped us get started. And as far as the business aspect goes.
Right.
And, you know, the more and more we got into it, she's like, is this a hobby or is this going to be a business? This is a businesswoman.
Yeah.
You know, and she's thinking it's still a hobby. Of course, I've still got my day job.
Right.
You know, so I really can jump into it like I wanted to.
Right.
And the brand you see now on my cap and on the banner behind me, she designed it.
Okay.
The original was just spelled out.
Oh, just be extreme.
Yeah.
Barbecue extreme. Okay.
You know, and once we started the website, stuff like that, going to some shows, getting the product out there, trying to get the name out there, you know, and getting it branded.
Right.
That was the biggest thing, was getting it branded.
Right.
But then my intent become, once I got started with this single one, Grilling Dust, you know, is okay. This is doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad, and I'm still working.
Right.
You know, so how can I expand on this? And hitting these little shows here and there, different little festivals, stuff like that. You know, I'm selling $300-400 a day, and I'm like,
wow,
this can work. This can work. You know, and another thing this lady told me was, you know, it's too salty for the backyard people. You know, I'm used to competition. Right. We like salt.
Right.
You got to have salt in competition.
Right.
So we took the salt content out. And once we took the salt content out, it started doing better. But the competition cooks started really buying into it.
Right.
I come out with Texas. I come out with Devil, you know, and on and on and on. But the competition cooks, I didn't think would really jump into it.
Right.
But the people that knew me and knew what I was doing and placing, they wanted it.
Right.
A good cook knows how to take a seasoning and make it their own.
Make it their own. And that's the key to it. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. You know, just because you took the salt away, I sometimes wonder about some of these rub companies. You taste it and it's all salt anyway. So, you know, salt's the cheapest thing that you can put in a rub.
Yes.
And when it's 50% salt, you know, you're really not getting a whole lot. So for you to back off on the salt, bring the flavor bomb with the rub itself. If I need to put more salt on it, I can always dust it with some salt at the end. I can use a sea salt or something in a grinder as a finishing dust, or I just can automatically know, hey, let me go hit this thing with a little kosher salt on the front end and then hit it with this. I can put that salt level where I want it, where I can control it. So that was probably a very smart move to do that.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it really was, because, like I said, this is actually our 6th year.
Yeah.
In business.
Right.
And it has really, competition cooks are still buying it because they get it.
Right.
And I tell everyone that, make it your own. Terry Roan can tell you that from day
Oh,
one.
yeah.
And but you know, it's one of those things that, okay, you're in the backyard, you're cooking, you got family over, you got friends over. You don't want all that salt.
Right.
You know, and I'm not trying to put down any other manufacturer or anything like that.
Right.
Commercial rubs at a grocery store or whatever. But you're right. Most of them, that first ingredient that you look at, salt.
Salt, a lot of salt. I mean, some of them are so salty you can't even hardly eat them. It's like eating a salt lick. So, you know, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more balanced flavor. I'll tell you one of the ones that I like, and that's this one right here, your Texas Dust.
Yes,
I absolutely love this rub. And the first ingredient is brown sugar.
Yes.
And then salt and garlic and black pepper and a whole bunch of and some chili and some chipotle. And I mean, it is so good on so many things. It is my go-to of all your rubs. If I'm trying to build flavors and layers of flavor, this is a great flavor builder here.
It's very balanced.
It's very balanced. It's not so salty. I can put a pretty good bit of it on it and layer what I need. And if I need more salt, because the thing is, there's other rubs that's going to bring in the salt, so I choose to use them.
Right.
So, and your grilling dust, I don't know if that's the one that you started with, but this one's good. And, you know, it is a really good one as well. So, but
that's my two babies right there.
Grilling dust and Texas grilling dust and Texas dust. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, out of all the ones, those are kind of my go-tos on a lot of things. They're very well balanced. They work on any protein that I've tried them on so far. They are absolutely wonderful. And now I want to get into the one that was created for the SCA, because I know we got a lot of folks on there. And I know that this one was created with the help of Mr. Terry Roan. And I know that it was developed for, I think he told me when we was filming his class, didn't it take y'all or him or y'all or both of y'all working on, I'm sure both of y'all working on this together, didn't it take almost 2 years to develop before he got on that run in 2018 and won 8 SCA competitions, which I think was a record? Well, he actually won the world champion in 2018. So actually he won 9 competitions that year because he won the world champion. So this is the rub that won the 2018 world champion. So, and it was developed between you and Terry. Tell us about that story.
Well, I was not cooking a whole lot of steak competitions then. And Terry wasn't exactly chasing points at the time. He actually called me up and said, "Hey, I got a steak cook-off in Whitney, Texas. You want to go with me?" And I said, "Sure." And he goes, "Just bring the spices. I got the grill and everything for you." And I'm like, "Well, I got my Weber right here. Now you're cooking on a PK this weekend." And I'm like, "I've never cooked on a PK." And he's like, "Don't worry about it." And I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "You know that part of the country." So he picks me up. We go down there and get the PK ready and this and that, blah, blah, blah. You know, so I hit night that day. Terry didn't walk that day.
Wow.
You know, and I got stuck. I mean, I'm like, I love a PK. You know, I'm stuck.
Right.
And so Terry's like, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna start chasing points. I got to get my golden ticket, and you know, or get my golden ticket, not chasing points." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." He goes, "You want to start going with me?" And I'm like, Sure. Yeah, that's where I met you, Sean Joe. Yeah. But anyway, so I started going to a few cook-offs with Terry. And he's like, "Hey, we're going to go over here. We're going to cook in Arkansas on Saturday or Friday night. And Saturday, we're going to Tennessee.
Oh,
and
wow.
we'll come home on Sunday." And I'm like, "Are you freaking serious?" And he's like, "Yeah." So we go to Arkansas. I get my golden ticket.
Wow. Your second competition. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my, you know, ninth one weekend, the next weekend, go win your golden ticket. And and then you're off to Tennessee.
Right.
And I think me and Terry slept maybe 2 or 3 hours that night.
Right.
You know, and we pull in and we sit up beside Scott Lindley, another guy's sponsor. And Terry's like, well, what are we going to do today? And I'm like, I think we're going to experiment. So I pulled out my bag of seasonings and started working on stuff.
Right there on the spot.
Yes. And
wow.
Terry was like, I think you're crazy. You need to add this or you need to add that. And I'm like, okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Well, once we got through and we tested or tasted my test steak, Scott and Terry were both like, oh my God. You know? And I'm like, yeah, but it needs work. Right. And I come in 32nd that day. And Terry got 9th that day. And so from then on, me and Terry started working on that.
Right.
And I can still remember at 2018 at the World Championship, you know, Terry's like, are you going to run this? And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to run it. It's not ready yet. And he goes, I think it is. I've been working on it. And there's the story.
Wow.
And after that is when Terry Rowan said, I want to buy into your business.
I'll be dang.
And I'm like, we'll make it happen.
There you go.
So,
well, I knew you was the founder. I know he's a co-owner with you. So, and that's when the steak dust was created. It took y'all a little while to get it all created and formulated.
Yes.
And I tell you what, it's probably a staple in a lot of SCA cookers.
It's our number one seller.
Yeah. I know we've sent a few hundred people to you, that's for sure. So, and they're just steadily buying it. Look, if anybody's got any questions about Danny on how to use some of his rubs or anything like that, that's what this show's for. You know, you get an opportunity to talk to the owner of a company that makes these rubs. And if you've got a question, this is, you know, one thing I like about these shows with Barbecue Champs Academy, we try to bring the educational side to it. You know, we've had Ed Riley with B&B Charcoal. We've had, you know, David with Gunnar Wilhelm, and we keep bringing all these people in to get educational information to you, because that's how we learn. Knowledge is very powerful when it comes to cooking. And when you get the information directly from the person that did it, cooked it, made it, that's why we bring them on. So if you got any questions, certainly let us know. Watch my Barbecue Champs class. You may see one of these rubs. Yeah, you think, Shauna? So anyway, but absolutely. I mean, they're amazing rubs. And I know once you kind of got everything going for the SCA, I know one of the big things that you did, and I kind of want to bring that up as well, is that you started a competition team, Be Xtreme Barbecue State Competition Team. When did that start, and what was how did you get that going? What was the deal with that?
I was actually watching a live show, SCA. Someone was doing it. I believe it was Facebook Live. I was fixing to go to Bedford Blues and Barbecue, and they had I believe it was their first SCA cook-off there on Friday night. And I was watching, and I seen the pork steak category. Mm-hmm. And Cody Alabar won second place. And I knew that Cody was using some of my seasoning. And the next person they called first place was Terry Wright. And I'm like, we just won first and second. Grilling list.
Right.
That's all we had out there.
Right.
And I want to say, Mike, that was 2016.
Okay.
Maybe 2015. But anyway, Katie's like, no, you don't know that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Well, when we're getting set up and everything, and Terry comes walking by, and he goes, hey, I'd like to talk to you. And I'm like, okay. And I said, come on in the motorhome. So he comes in the motorhome and asks me about sponsoring. And I'm like, I've never thought about sponsoring anybody. And I'm like, I had known Terry, but not really known him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, 40 million questions. How did you hear about me? This and that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, Richard Lane told me about it.
Right.
From the barbecue world. Right. And Terry also cooked barbecue and stuff.
Yep.
And so, anyway, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. But if I'm going to sponsor you, I'm going to have to sponsor Richard as well.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this?
Right.
I didn't have a clue.
Right.
I didn't have a clue. Yep. And so we started picking up different people, this and that, and started watching people that were actually buying our season, that we knew were buying our season.
Right.
And with the steak cook-offs and stuff, you walked up, what did you cook on? What seasoning did you use? What charcoal did you use? Whatever. You give a shout out to your sponsors, which I think is a great thing that IBCA doesn't do. And, I just thought, okay, that's a way to get your name out there.
Right.
And if you got people that truly believe in your product, great ambassadors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll help. It'll get the word out. That's the thing. And plus also, when you have a team like that and you all using the same product, you get to share some information, and if y'all are kind of working together like that, that information is very, very valuable. It's very powerful to push you further into doing what you're doing and excelling in it. So
it's kind of like I hate to use the word NASCAR, but
yeah, let's race it. I was going to say that, NASCAR, our drag racing and stuff like that. The NHRA Pro Stock teams. I mean, they run team cars because these cars are very, very sophisticated. We had a Pro Mod style Pro Street car that I raced for umpteen years, and that's where my background was for all these years prior to barbecue. And it cost a lot of money. I mean, it's $700 to make a pass down the track in one of these cars, and people don't realize that. And you get one pass. You've got a computer that reads wheel speed, RPM, clutch slippage, this, that, EGTs on the exhaust. But when you have two cars that are set up identical, man, it's so much more powerful. That's why the NHRA Pro Stock cars, running team cars like that, can do so well. And it's the same thing with barbecue. If everybody kind of runs the same stuff, sets the grills up, does everything the same, and if you're willing to share that information and work together, that can be a very, very powerful tool. But you've got to be consistent doing it. So
it's so diverse with this team. So diverse.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much has a different style of cooking. Some of us have the same style, some of us don't.
Right.
But what we use as far as the products, stuff like that, pretty much the same. We talk to each other about the rise in the temps, this and that when we're there that day, because cooking a steak is a whole lot different than barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
You got to execute.
Yep. It's got to be perfect.
A lot of people think it's all about the flavor. It's not about the flavor.
That's just one part of it.
Yes, I've been to competitions and had the highest flavor score in the whole competition.
Right.
And not winning.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to execute on all the other stuff.
Yes.
Taste is one thing, but if you don't get all the other stuff, it's done. All right. So we've got a lot of questions that's popped up, so I want to make sure that we start to get to them. So, let's see. What's your favorite Be Extreme dust? What's your favorite Be Extreme rub, and what do you like to use it on? That come from Randy.
Randy, my favorite. A lot of people might disagree. No.
That's mine. I like to use it on everything. That stuff is good.
My actual favorite.
Grilling dust?
No.
Which one is that? Grilling dust?
Cajun.
Oh, the Cajun dust. Yeah, that's some good stuff too. You would think me being a Louisiana and a coon ass, well, I'm not down South Louisiana. You would think that would be one of my ones, but
It's
I'm not real big on the spice and the heat, so that's why I like that Texas dust. What do you like to use it on?
I pretty much use it on everything.
On everything. Okay.
I've used steak dust and Cajun dust on steaks before.
Right.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's not going to work in competition.
Right. Right.
But I absolutely love it. Cajun dust was one of the seasonings that helped me and Richard and Kay at the World Food Championship in the Beefer Challenge that we won last year.
Wow.
And of course, we had it on shrimp.
Right.
And
I bet it was good on that.
it was killer.
Heck yeah.
It was killer.
So like it on shrimp. All right. So Cody asked a question. What makes you think outside the box with seasonings creating them?
I should have figured Cody would ask me that.
Just tell him pile a lot of salt and pepper and garlic in it and start from there. So
no, it just it's one of those things I guess I'm gifted with or blessed with. I'm always thinking outside the box.
Right.
I'm unconventional as anybody can be when it comes to cooking and seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not your basic salt, pepper, garlic guy.
Yeah, you got to think outside the box. I mean,
Yes.
if you don't, all your stuff turns out like everybody else's stuff. People ask me like my briskets and stuff. You know, I've got so many rubs that go on my brisket, it would blow your mind. I got 7 different rubs that I put on my brisket, but they're small. They're small little layers of this and a little of that and a little of this and a little of that and a little sprinkle of this. And
I'm glad you brought that up. I had a competitor ask me years ago, and matter of fact, Jeff Shivers was sitting right beside me when this guy walked up, and I was on a roll in brisket, and I was hitting left and right on brisket, and he was like, "Man, I'm having some problems with my brisket. Would you help me?" And I'm like, "Well, sure. What's going on?" I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm using 23 seasonings."
Dang. Okay.
And I'm like, "Seriously?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, the only advice I'm going to give you, keep it simple."
Yeah, back it off a little bit. That's a little excess. So.
Yeah. And this guy started hitting on brisket, and everyone was like, "What did you tell him?" I'm like, "Nothing. Really nothing."
Yeah.
You know, keep it simple.
Keep the process a little simpler. Just layer the flavors. So, and I know that's one of the questions somebody asked about layering. We're going to get down to that, but yeah, you absolutely do layer. Tried the fajita dust. This is your newest one. Frank said it is the bomb. I've got it, and I'm going to do some shows with this stuff, but tasting it, man, this stuff is good. It pops. It's got that saltiness that it needs for fajitas, but man alive, this is your newest one.
Yes.
And I know it took you a while to get this one out. So,
yes.
But this stuff is so good. So
yeah, that's another one me and Terry worked on right there for a while.
Yeah, I remember Terry when he was filming his class. He said, "I'm working on a fajita dust." You know, Terry. You know, if I were to do the imitation of Terry, you know, it's going to be very quiet. You know, I'm working on fajita dust. So anyway, and I was like, "You make sure I get that fajita dust when it's ready." So, and he said, "I got it ready." So anyway, and I can't wait to try it. I mean, things are finally cooling off here and wanting to get outside and do a little bit more grilling and stuff like that. We've been doing other things behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about, promoting a lot of y'all's stuff. And I don't know.
Let me throw a little bomb at you right now.
Let's do it.
Just get people ready.
Okay.
Number 8, season number 8 will be coming out this spring.
Oh, heck, great.
And
great.
It will be a game changer.
Good. Gonna be barbecue, steak, work on anything, or what's it geared toward? Geared toward anything. That's good.
It's an awesome season.
Good. So you heard it here first on Barbecue Champs Academy live show. It's coming. It's coming in the spring.
That's
good. There's the teaser right there. So That's why you need to tell everybody to listen to Barbecue Champs Academy, because you'll get it here first. So there you go. Oh, goodness. Okay, so Pete's got a question. What timeline on putting your steaks dust before hitting the grill? How soon do you like to do it? You one that likes to do it a long time before, or do you like to just hit it right before it goes on the grill?
30, 45 minutes, maybe to an hour. Okay. I like to see the seasoning sweat in, is what we call it.
Okay.
Yes.
So whatever. Hotter it is, obviously it's going to sweat quicker. More humid it is, it's probably going to sweat a little bit quicker. Speaking of, Scott had this question by Be Xtreme Rub clumped up after a very humid competition. Yes, they will. Yes. Do you recommend replacing them, or is it okay to bust them up and bust the lumps up and use it? Yeah, it doesn't affect anything. I get in there and I bust them up all the time. I shake them.
The best way to do it, Mike, is if you'll take it. Hang on, I gotta get the camera view. Take your bottle and rub it.
Yeah, break them up.
Just like that.
Yep.
And it will mix it all real good. Yeah, the bottom may still clump.
Right.
But that right there will break up the clumps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just sugar content more than anything else.
Oh, yeah. Sugar, salt. I mean, any of that. Anytime that's real humid outside, man. I've woken up, of course, barbecue, when we do our stuff, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning putting rubs on. It's usually really humid. And I mean, you're sitting there shaking this stuff and just shaking it out. You get done, you can look on the lid, and it is just clumped up outside. It's just dusted, where it's just, you got to wipe it off. And it's just because there's so much moisture in the air and the rubs are dry, it just attaches to it. But no, it doesn't hurt a thing, Scott. So, but that's a great question. A lot of people may not know. Now, one of the things that I told everybody, my pro tip that I released out, was I always keep my lid cover on it. So I'll do everything I can to peel this off real easy. And then I keep it in the lid. And when I get ready, I always put it on. I think it does a couple things, because this, let's face it, these holes right here in this lid is not airtight by any means. And I want to keep my rub, number one, fresh. This will help that. And number two, it'll help keep the moisture out of it. Now, I do the disc. Craig Sherry, when we had him on, one of the things he said he does, he puts a piece of tight saran wrap on it and tightens up the saran wrap. Right when I think I've got something really cool, let's leave it to Craig Sherry to come out and say, oh, what are you doing? Don't worry about that. Just get a piece of saran wrap. Okay. Of course. I should have known Craig was going to come up with something to trump me, but that's just Craig. We love him. So, but either one of them. I mean, the discs are sometimes a pain, especially when I do it, and then I got to go get something, a toothpick or something, if they don't have the lid that I can pop up and get my finger in, it's just got the holes, then I got to go get something to pop it out because it seals it tight. But keep those rubs fresh, keep something on top of them. And I think you'll find that really helps. Let's see what else we got. Let's see, steak. Okay. Let me get on over here. Let me run back up. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Big Xtreme. Yep, there's Mr. Jack. Hey, Jack, how are you doing, buddy? Man, I hope you get back out on the competition trail again. Let's see. Here we go. Do you prefer to layer multiple rubs or blend them for a single application?
I layer.
I layer. Absolutely. Yes. It's so important to layer those rubs. You blending them together, Carl, the problem is the molecular structure of a rub. Sometimes you're going to have some heavy ingredients. You may have big peppers and stuff like that. They don't blend the same. No matter how much you shake them, when you get ready to put them on, they're not going to come out the way that you want them. So that's why it's so important. Put your layers on of how you want that, especially for barbecue steaks. You guys aren't quite putting as much rub as what we do on a big old chunk of brisket or something like that. But
Mike, I'd like to make a comment on that too.
Yep.
It also matters on your layers which ones you put on first.
Yeah.
It does matter.
It does.
A lot of people don't think it does.
Yep.
But if you will try different things layering it, you may have the right formula going.
Right.
But you may not be layering it the way it should be layered.
Right.
It does make a difference.
Do you like to start with your saltier layer on first so it will get down into that meat?
No,
No?
no, that's my last layer.
That's your last one. Okay.
That's my last layer because salt will dry any meat out.
Okay.
Any meat out. That's just me.
Right.
I mean, I know other people may prefer to do it different, but that's just me.
So you like your saltier rub on last. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Jody.
Jody says the devil dust is awesome. Yes, it is, and it's got some heat to it, Jody. I will tell you that. So
that is I don't know. They see extreme, they see devil, and they're scared to death of it.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of kick to it, but it's really, really good. Miss K says steak dust and Cajun dust. Miss K, I don't know why we don't get you back over there in that camera. I tried to get her in that camera just a minute ago, and she just refused to come back into that camera. So I heard something about hair wet, forget it, not happening, and then that was it. So. All right, so here's one from Nick. What's your perfect grill grate temp? Where do you like to put your steaks on? What do you like to shoot for?
Normally around 550.
Okay, middle of the pack.
550, 575, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Fajita dust, yes, it is good. Let's see. Sterling, hey guys, great rubs. Love the Be Extreme line. They are a very, very good line. Matt Overson, that fajita dust is amazing. Yes. I haven't put it on a protein yet, but I can tell you this. It's got a wonderful flavor, and I can't wait. I'm going to go buy me a big old flank, and I'm going to season that bad boy up. I'm going to let it sit, and then I'm going to cook that thing to perfection, and I'm going to eat me some. You know what I said? Et. You know where I get that et from? If you ever been around Alan Newton, I tell you right now, he has got to be one of the funniest guys when it comes. That's one of the best things I ever ate, Mike. I was like, Alan, first time I was around him, he said that 3 or 4 times. I was like, man, this guy really say that? And he's just a good old country boy. I absolutely love Alan Newton.
Alan's
and he is a great guy. So
we were side by side at the first ever SCA championship.
Yeah, he is absolutely awesome. Okay, I hear it also works good on gator. Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah, I knew Wesley would chime in. We actually cooked a gator at a barbecue cook-off. Wesley actually come to Texas. And cooked the IBCA cook-off. He had never cooked anymore. And we cooked a whole hog in the gator on Friday night. It was amazing. It was amazing. So,
yep.
There game changers
coming. The game changers coming. That's what he said, Terry. I heard your mastermind and him are behind it. So I heard it was released here first on Barbecue Champs Academy. So, and it's coming in the spring. Let's see. Great question, Terry Roan. Can't wait. Yes, this is something, Miss K says, store in the freezers when you're not using them. Anything to keep them fresh. I've heard a lot of people, sometimes I get big bags, I'll vacuum seal them and suck all the air out of them and do that. I'll put them in the freezer, and it definitely...
or even the refrigerator.
Either one. I've done both. I've kind of more fond just putting them in the refrigerator and vacuum sealing them and throw them in the refrigerator. So, let's see. Thanks for the tip. Write it down. Yes. Oh, goodness gracious. Let all of us know we're the best place to get all of your products. Well, I can tell you right now that would be BeExtremeBBQ.com. So,
yes.
We've got a link on Barbecue Champs Academy. You can click that link and it'll take you there. So, if you're wanting a place to buy just his rubs, you can get it there. If you're trying to add rubs along with other product, then I would certainly recommend Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford. He carries everything. He carries everything that just about that's in the Barbecue Champs Academy classes, that all of our stuff, plus all of your stuff, plus everybody. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop, Frank, and you're just needing Be Extreme, or one-stop shop, and you got a multitude of things you're trying to get, check out LoneStarBarbecueProShop.com. If you're just needing some Be Extreme stuff, Danny can hook you up because he's got all of it in stock. No matter if you need 400 cases of it, he'll hook you up. So let's see. I love how over the top 10 in SE are using Be Extreme. Yep, great seasoning. Yeah, they really are. They have been a staple in the SCA, IBCA, and KCBS as well. So let's see. Did I read that? Yep. And there's Cindy. And yeah, we want to see Miss K too. Drag her in there. Every time I've ever talked to her, she's in the background telling this and that and that. I need to see her. I think it's just, you know, I need to see, you know. I'm not from Missouri, but show me. Which marinade and how long in the marinade? Well, I know
I don't have a marinade, but there's several good ones out there. Matt's a great one.
Yeah.
Wicked Pig's a great
pig. I can't get to it. The Wicked Pig, man, that's the one that Matt Overson developed, and it is a very, very good, and you don't have to marinate it long. The instructions are on it, so I'm not going to say anything there because that's something that you got to play with, but it is a very, very, very good product. If you're wondering where you can get that, Rick, it's Wicked Pig Marinade. It was developed by Matt Overson. It took him 2 years to develop it, and you can get that at Papa Joe Grilling Supplies. If you need the link, there's a link on Barbecue Champs. Go to bbqchamps.com, and right at the bottom of every single page that we have, we got a link to all of our sponsors, and you can click that link and it'll take you directly to it. But we know for a fact that he carries that, and I don't know of a whole lot of people that do. There may be some others, but
Mike, another good marinade is 2016 SCA World Champion. Poncho and Lefty.
Yep, he's got a good marinade. Yep. Let's see. Congrats to Danny Helm on your first place. Yeah, here we go. That was my next question. Let's see that bottle of sauce. He had a first place beef award at the 2020 National Barbecue News. I think he had a second in pork. Finished, I think, 11th or 15th overall. There were 51 entries in beef. We placed 11th. So you got a bottle of that sauce?
Yes.
Now, I'm telling you right now, he's only got one sauce. That's the great thing. And it's Be Extreme Barbecue Sauce. Simple name. I love it. That stuff is absolutely amazing. So that's all I can tell you. And if you're not using it in the barbecue world, you need to get you a bottle. If you're not using it for the backyard, you definitely need to get a bottle. To me, it just gives it that it almost just has that good backyard barbecue flavor. And I absolutely love it. You knocked a home run with that. Number one, first place in beef. It finished second place in pork, and I think 15th overall out of all 4 divisions combined. And it was done by the Barbecue News that we had on Kel a couple weeks ago. So congratulations to you right off the get-go. You had just, I don't even know, you was in the process of getting it out. I don't know if it had been released. You had a bottle and you had sent to him. So
yeah, I was truly shocked.
Yeah.
Truly shocked.
Yeah, Caitlin, I'll agree. Alan is one awesome dude. Yeah, I love Alan to death. He is just, they do not come any finer than that man. And his class that he put on at Barbecue Champs Academy was absolutely amazing. So he just hasn't got a chance ever since he had a 5-way heart bypass here last year. It's just kind of taken it out of him, and he just hasn't quite got the starch to get out there and start cooking the way that he did. A lot of people don't realize just how good Alan Newton is. He's a legend. I mean, he was inducted into the SCA Legends. Let's see. Love our team. There's Annie. Yep. I know that guy right there knows a thing or two about your product. That's for sure. So if you need a barbecue grill, if you need a barbecue pit, if you need a barbecue drum, if you need a cup, you need to be doing me one of these, Richard, for this plug with my Barbecue Champs logo on it. I don't care what you need. If you need something painted, you look up, you got it, there he is. He's right there on your Facebook. You click his name, and that barbecue pimp master will paint it like you have never in your life seen. I have seen some of his work. And I am absolutely blown away at what that guy can do to a grill, a cup, a car,
anything.
a toilet seat. It really wouldn't matter. When he gets done with it, it is going to be the most amazing paint job that you've ever seen in your life. So I'm just telling you, that guy is an incredible painter. Richard, hats off to you, man. I know I remember we was talking a little bit at a competition. You was just getting into doing some of that stuff, and I tell you what, you're an amazing painter. Very, very, very talented. Yeah, Papa Joe's also carries your product as well. He carries just about every dadgum steak stuff that's out there. So, like I said, we're so glad to have him aboard Barbecue Champs. We're sending a lot of business to him as well. And are you coming out with any marinades? Awesome sauce. Yes, it is an awesome sauce.
No, I'm not planning
on doing that. Mark is on here. Anna, yes, I love the sauce as well. And 6th first at Bedford Blues 2. What's he talking about? Oh, 6th first place at Bedford Blue. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, that was a secret weapon. That was one hard to come out with.
Yeah.
The sauce business is so much more competitive than the spice business.
Right.
There's Boudreaux.
Boudreaux likes them. I bet Boudreaux loves that Cajun dust. So he would, if he is from South Louisiana, he'd call me up here in Shreveport a Yankee. So, oh yes,
put in the Cajun.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's see. I know we've covered all about the sauce, the rubs, your involvement with the SCA, and so glad with what you're doing to help continue to grow that sport, you supporting your teams and stuff like that. Danny, y'all have truly been a blessing, I know, to a lot of people and helped a lot of people. I mean, to me, that's what it's all about. That was our whole envision of doing Barbecue Champs. And if you are looking to step up your steak cooking, if you're looking to step up your barbecue, you can go to barbecuechamps.com, and there is some amazing world champion pit masters. I mean, we have got some elite guys on there, from Robbie Roll to David Bosca to Joey Smith, and what he's doing with that Texas Heroes Foundation. I'm just still absolutely amazed at what they're doing, helping these men and women that suffering with PTSD, that are in the military, or if they're first responders. Their teams have been rolling out now for the last 3 weeks, and Joey's doing a spectacular thing with that. He is a world champion. Mark Lambert's a 6-time world champion. Corey Mike Sterling. We guys got a lot. And then when you start looking at and Lee Hickle, I mean, my goodness gracious, you talk about a guy that's been on fire the last 2 years. I think I got all of them. We start looking at the steak cookers. 2018 SCA world champion Terry Roan, 2019 points champion Matt Overson, 2019 points champion runner-up John Lindsay, Shauna Rapolo, 2016 runner-up, her very, very first year in the points chase, and 2-time female cooker of the year, Alan Newton, inducted in the Hall of Fame, you know, the SCA legends, and Ty Machado. I mean, if you're looking to step up your game, these guys lay it on the line. They are 100% tell-all classes. They don't hold nothing back. You can go back. You can watch these videos over and over and over. They do not expire. There's no membership. And they're so detailed. And the questions that I ask these guys, I am dragging that information out. I'm asking them the questions that you would want to know if you were standing in front of them and they were teaching you. And I think you will really be impressed with these classes if you're looking to step up your game in barbecue and steak, whatever it may be. If you're wondering what it will be, just go to barbecuechamps.com. Look over there. There's a little tab over there that says reviews. Go over there and read all the reviews. Those are verified buyers. The only way you can even write a review on our website is if you've bought a class. So I see you're
another one to that.
Yeah, I see you're holding up something there. What you got there?
World Championship Bison Cook-Off.
So you cooked a bison. Man, that's a tough piece of meat. I bet you had that baby pumped with something to keep it juicy or doing something, because that thing's drier than a popcorn fart. So
yeah. One more thing, Mike. One more surprise for you.
Okay.
it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah.
There's not many guys that have a bra.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, 2013 BBQ. Oh my goodness gracious. You seen it here first on barbecue. Man, there's two things that you've learned first on Barbecue Champs tonight. Oh my, he's got a new rub coming out in September, or in the spring, and he was the grand champion at the BBQ competition with the pink bra. So you need to wear that to the next barbecue competition. So, oh golly. So Barbecue Champs is one great website packed full of information. Thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate it. Barbecue Champ classes have been priceless to me. David, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that gives us shout outs. It means a lot to us, because there's a lot of people at first was very on the fence. Well, how good are they? Did they really tell you everything? These guys tell you everything. And they can't hide nothing back, because when we're filming, I'm asking them questions. I told them right before we start, once we start, we don't ever edit. We just roll film. And what if we make no mistake? There won't be no mistakes. Just answer the questions. Just roll on. Give me all the information, and we'll be good. And I'm asking them questions left and right. There's sometimes I ask them a question, they're probably like, "Man, I wasn't expecting to have to tell that," but I don't care. You know, it's 100% tell-all class, and that's what we. If you don't want to do that, then we don't want you on here. So, anyway, but yeah, they truly are, and we appreciate people like David and Mark and stuff like that. That man right there. Mark, I'm going to have to get you on the show. And David, I'm thinking about doing a lineup of all the people that have taken our classes on Barbecue Champs. That young man right there set the SCA record with the highest score ever recorded 2 weeks ago. He scored a 254.4, and a perfect score is a 254.5. He missed it by 1/10, the highest score ever recorded at an SCA competition. And if I recall, it was only his 5th competition that he ever cooked. And he took Matt Overson's class, and I think it was the 2nd time that he had been out taking Matt's class. And Mark, I tell you what, man, congratulations. That right there had to make you feel very, very good. So.
Yeah. Congratulations, Mark, but I think that's the same score that is 2018.
Yeah, that is absolutely unbelievable. So, worth every penny. Helped me so much. Thank you so much. Well, hello, Miss Brandy. How are you doing? I'm glad you could join us tonight. So, there is David. Yep, David got his golden ticket, and it's just been an amazing run for all of us. Hey, Barbecue Champs Academy, we appreciate everybody. And Danny, I appreciate what you've done for barbecue. I appreciate what you've done for steak, the competitions, the backyard cooker as well. I hope everybody is just continuing to share it, spread the word about Barbecue Champs Academy Live. We really do try to bring these shows together to get information, to help people, to talk some strategy. And to me, that's what it's all about. If you are not following us on our YouTube channel, this does post to our YouTube channel as well, but we are trying to build up our subscribers on YouTube. So if you have not taken the time to run over to Barbecue Champs Academy, go find us on Barbecue Champs, or go to YouTube, find us on Barbecue Champs Academy and subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate it. We're trying to build up that audience as well. So hit us up over there as well. I guess that's about it. Looks like great show. Trust the Dust. Yep, absolutely. Wicked Pig for the win. We got a lot of people using that product as well. Danny, I've greatly appreciate you being on here. I thank all of our loyal listeners. You know, it wouldn't be much of a show without your feedback, and we appreciate the comments. Those comments help us in our rankings and stuff like that, because people see that we're engaged, and that's what we're trying to do. Engage the customers, our listeners, engage customers that have bought product and stuff like that, and ask questions. You know, that's how we learn, and there's no better person to learn from than the person that created the rub itself. So, Danny, you got any last words?
Trust in the dust, baby.
Trust in the dust, baby. Yep. Well, I tell you what.
I I really enjoyed it. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
one quick. Where is store located? Where is your? Do you have a storefront or do you
No,
just
I don't have a
no store?
storefront, just a
Okay,
website.
yeah.
I've
Like
got
I
stores
said, Nick.
throughout the United States.
Yep, you can get them directly from his website. Go to barbecuechamps.com, bbqchamps.com. There's a link that goes to his site. There's a link that goes to Papa Joe Grilling Supplies. There's a link that goes directly to Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. All of those places carry almost all of these products that we have. These are our sponsors. We're so proud to be partnered with them, and thank you, Danny, for what you do, and thank you for your support on Barbecue Champs, Papa Joe, uh, B, Barbecue, B&B Charcoal, Lone Star. Brian, thank you so much, man. I look forward to seeing you this weekend at the banquet. Texas Pepper Jelly, Gunnar Wilhelm knives. I'm going to have to do a special on those knives. I'm telling you right now, they are amazing. Some of the things that we did here the other day. And Barbecue News Magazine. If you have not subscribed to that magazine, he sent me a printed copy this week. It is absolutely a neat little magazine to go through. Well, I tell you what, we've had our hour's time. We're going to wrap this up. Thanks all of our listeners. Danny, thank you, buddy, so much for being on our show tonight. We look forward to talking to everybody, hopefully, Lord willing, next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Central. Until then, have a lot of fun and smoke on.
Smoke it.